Hello, welcome back. Let's play Dark Souls New Game Plus Bosses. Today we shall be doing Quelaag on New Game Plus, and I will tell you this is a bit more difficult than in regular. She has a new attack, one in particular that actually killed me my first time because I forgot she had it, and it one-shot me. So you always want to be careful with Quelaag in New Game Plus. I will make note, however, that it is a bit easier to use I don't really want to call it an exploit, but it does make this fight a little bit easier. As you can see, I didn't really get off to a good start in this boss fight. I pretty much landed right in the lava, but it's not about how you start the fight, it's how you finish it. Now, I'm not one to try and make excuses, but I'm going to. I actually hadn't played Dark Souls in about over a month when I played this, so I think I did alright for 2 tries on a New Game Plus boss, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, the basic principles still apply here, really. Make sure you don't walk into the lava voluntarily. Try not to get too far away from her, and hit her when she's vomiting, or whatever you want to call it, and try not to miss like I did there. Now for the trick that makes this a little easier. A safe spot is right in front of her, literally to the left. She can't hit you with a melee right there, so if you have a fast weapon, swing away, and always be wary when she rears up. When she rears up, she can either do what she just did there, which is pretty much don't be in front of her, or it is a big AoE, which will one-shot you. So, you'll see that a little later. I don't think I actually got hit. Right there it is, actually. I forget how much vitality I had at this point, but that will pretty darn near one-shot me. I think if I have any damage whatsoever, it one-shots me. If I have full health, it takes it down to nil, but I'm still alive. I will give out a general word of warning on New Game Plus because this pretty much applies to this boss fight. It applies to the whole thing. Don't get careless on New Game Plus. I don't care how good you think you are on New Souls. If you get hit more than a couple times on New Game Plus, you're probably going to die unless you're a Vitality Gouge build. But it especially applies to bosses because their damage seems like it gets amplified. It seems exponentially. 2 hits, you're generally dead on a Dark Souls boss. It's more dodge or have a darn good shield. At this point, you should probably have a shield around, I don't know, probably around 70, 75, somewhere around their stability, whether that's a Grey Shield of Artorias like I got there, or an upgraded shield, something around that. Hopefully with some fire resistance should make this fight pretty easy, even if you don't do what I'm doing here, and playing Ring Around the Rosie right in her face. Like I said though, if you do have a fast weapon like a dagger or a rapier or really what have you, it's a lot easier to take advantage of that. As you can see there, I actually got hit partially from that, but it's a lot easier to hit her and then get away while she's playing Ring Around the Rosie with you. I mean, you can still do it with an Ultra Great Sword like I am right here, obviously, but it is a lot more timing dependent and it will take a lot longer because you're not hitting nearly as often. But, that's the trade-off. Spike damage or constant damage. I like big numbers. And if you do somehow manage to have to heal, the best thing to do is back off, wait to see if she's going to jump towards you. If she's not going to jump towards you like she isn't here, that's your time to drink. If she's going to jump towards you, roll backwards. That's basically the only advice I can really give there. If you're having problems with stamina in New Game Plus, apparently you didn't pick up the Chloranthy Ring. If you didn't pick up the Chloranthy Ring, don't worry, you can get it this time. But Chloranthy Ring is a very good ring to have in boss fights in general, so I recommend you get that. If for some reason you don't want to get it, you can't get it, you're not far enough, then the only really other option you have is either wear lighter armor or eat a green blossom. That's it, green blossom. Couldn't think of it for a second there, sorry. And if you're having trouble finding those, I believe they're sold by the Crestfallen Merchant in Sen's Fortress and by the vendor in Artorias' Abyss content. So, and also dropped by Frog Rays with the bread things in the garden, I think. I think those are the ones that ambushed me. I don't really fight them every time I go through the garden, but I think those drop it as well. So you shouldn't really have a problem. If you can get to this point, you can get to those and farm it. So you have no excuses. Boy, it is hard to believe this is only halfway through this boss fight. I forgot just how long this took me. Oh, but a good fight is always fun. Unless you die right at the end. Which I always seem to do. I always seem to die right at the end of long boss fights. It's like the game tries to just tick you off any way it can, just so you won't try it again. But if you're sitting here watching this, you know all about that. You know all about it, because odds are you've had an experience of your own like that, and I feel your pain, man. There's only one bit of advice I can really give in that situation, is that if you notice the boss's health is low, stop looking at the health bar. Stop looking at that. Occasionally glance at your health bar if something happens, but if you focus on the boss's health, you're gonna make mistakes because you're gonna, oh, one more hit, and that one more hit, you're gonna get yourself hit. Which, while funny when you look back on it, at the time, you're gonna want your controller. So, always best to try and avoid those circumstances if you can. Maybe it's just my own personal experiences, but every time I start to get frustrated in Dark Souls, or Demon Souls for that matter, you always make more mistakes. And that takes you off more, and it's just a vicious cycle. It's best to be avoided if at all possible. But anyway, back to the fight at hand. As I said before, if you're not stubborn like I am and insist on using Ultra Great Swords, this is a lot easier of a fight than I'm making it out to be right now. Just like Demon Souls and Dark Souls metagame for that matter, smaller weapons and mobility are generally speaking the way to go. That's generally for bosses. Now, trash, whole different story. I'll agree, I'll even argue the point that big weapons are better for trash, but for bosses, smaller weapons are better. I'm sorry, big weapon users out there. I'm the biggest supporter of big weapons for the record, so yeah. I'm sorry, I don't really mean to get off point here, I really don't, but it is a little difficult trying to come up with 10 minutes of something to say while watching a fight that you already did in the past. But I figure since I did a Persona session yesterday, I should start with a Dark Souls session today. Also, I suppose it would be neglect if I didn't mention that I believe she also has a weakness to lightning. I don't really know that from personal experience, however, I have looked it up. If it's true or not, I don't know, but it's always worth a try if you are having trouble. So, it's something to try. I would imagine magic would also work. I can't imagine pyromancy would, but I know it did on Demon Fire Sage, but I don't think it works on Quelaag before you go and try it and blame me, and yeah, there you go. Actually, now that I think about it, I believe Flash Sweat is the pyromancy, so you actually might want to use Flash Sweat against her, and I believe it gives fire resistance, so every little bit of fire resistance helps. If none of these strategies are working for you, you always got the opportunity of summoning phantoms, which, while somewhat unreliable on the PC version, isn't that bad on the PS3 version. So, you can always do that. Even if you don't have an internet connection, you can still summon, I believe, what was her name? Maneater Mildred, I think her name is? You can also summon her if you killed her. For her to appear, you have to be in human form. And, yeah, that's how much that hurts. That was very close, and I nearly had a heart attack when that happened the first time. Ooh. And if you feel like a daredevil, you can attempt what I did right there and roll forward into her when she's jumping. It is a lot riskier, but on the other hand, if you have a fast weapon, that's another opportunity to, you know, not do stupid things like I did right there and actually get a hit on her. This late in the fight, your instinct is to immediately turtle up. Try and be safe, but as anybody that's played Dark Souls can tell you, the more you try and turtle up, the more likely you're gonna get hit by some trivial mistake while trying to get that last hit or two in. In all honesty, I probably could have got the last hit right there, but I was too much of a wuss. And I did not want to go through that again, because not only did that AoE kill me the first time, it killed me with about this much health left, and I was not a happy camper, to put it lightly, folks. And so, as you prepare to strike the final blow on Chaos Witch Quelaag, let me say, folks, praise the sun, and I hope you had fun watching this, as much fun as I had making this, and I shall see you folks